Hello guys, welcome back. So now we will be learning about LZ78 encoding. So let's start. So here I have an example. Encode the string ABA, BAC, BAC, BAD, AAA. So make one table with two columns, coder and dictionary, and two subcolumns for each, input, output, index and entry. Now in this dictionary, each entry has an index associated with it. Okay. So this is your input and this is output. So first take the first input letter and check if A is in the dictionary. Initially our dictionary is empty. So A is not in the dictionary and A is encountered for the first time. Okay. Whenever an input letter, a unique input letter is encountered for the first time, what you do? You take that here and in the output you write a 0 and that letter following that 0. Okay. When an input letter is encountered for the first time, you write a 0 and that letter following it. Okay. So you get 0A. Now start the indexing from 1. You get 1 here and write the same input in the entry. Okay. So whatever you get here, you have to write it here. Okay. Next, take the next input letter, that is A. Now check if A is in the dictionary. A is in the dictionary. So what you have to do? Take the next input letter and combine both together. Okay. Previous and the current one. So okay. So you get AB combining together. Now check if AB is in the dictionary. AB is not in the dictionary. We have only A here up till now. Okay. So take this AB here. Now what you have to do? Write the index of the text preceding the last letter. So whatever the text precedes the last letter, you have to write the index of that. Okay. So which is the last letter here? B. Now what precedes it? We have a A here. So you have to write the index of A. So what is the index of A? 1. So write that 1 here and this B following it. Okay. So then increment the index and write this input as it is in the entry. Okay. This column and this column are same. Okay. Please remember that. Next, take the next input, that is A. Now check if A is in the dictionary. We have A in the dictionary. Now take the next input and combine them together. So you get AB. AB is also in the dictionary. So what you do? Take the next input letter and combine all together. So you get ABA. So now check if ABA is in the dictionary. We don't have a ABA in the dictionary. So take this in the input column. Now what you have to do? Index of whatever precedes the last letter. So here AB precedes the last letter. Here the last letter is A. So you have to write the index of AB. What is the index of AB? 2. So write that 2 and this A following it. Okay. So next, increment the index and write this in this entry column as it is. Okay. So next, your input is C. Now C is encountered for the first time. We don't have a C in the dictionary and it is encountered for the first time. Then what you do? You write a 0 and that letter following it. Then increment the index and write this as it is. Next, take the next input letter, that is B. B is encountered for the first time and it is not in the dictionary. So what do you write? You write a 0 and that letter following it. Increment the index, write this as it is. Take the next input, that is A. A is already in the dictionary. So take the next letter and combine both. So you get A. A is not in the dictionary. So what do? You take it in the input column. Now you have to write the index of the text preceding the last letter. Here the last letter is A. So you have to write the index of this A. Okay. So what is the index of A? 1. So write that 1 and this A following it. Okay. Increment the index and write this as it is in the entry column. Next, you have C. You already have a C in the dictionary. So what do? Take the next input and combine both. You get CB. CB is not in the dictionary. See here, we don't have a CB yet. So take this CB. Now you have to write the index of the text preceding the last letter. So we have C here. So write the index of C, that is 4, and this B following it. Increment the index and write this in the entry column as it is. Next you have A. A is already in the dictionary. Take the next letter, combine both. You also have A in the dictionary. Take the next letter, combine all together. You get AAD. AAD is not in the dictionary. So take this in the input column. Now you have to write the index of the text preceding the last letter. So you have to write the index of AA. What is the index of AA? 6. So write that 6 and this D as it is. Please remember that you have to take these letters combine, okay, these two, and not the individual letters, okay. So you get 60. Now increment the index and write this here. Next you have A, which is already in the dictionary. Take the next letter, that is A. So combining both you get A. A is also in the dictionary. So we take the next letter and combine all. So you get 3 A's. So 3 A's are not in the dictionary yet. So what do? You write the index of the text preceding the last letter. So what is the index of AA? We have a index 6. So write that 6 and this last letter following it. Then increment the index and write this in the entry column as it is, okay. So now your input is fully processed and this is your output. So take this from top to bottom. So you get 0A, 1B, 2A, 0C, 0B, 1A, 4B, 6D, 6A. So this is your encoded string, okay. So again the steps. If an input letter is already in the dictionary, what you do? You take the next letter and combine both, okay. If that also is in the dictionary, you take the next one and combine all together. And what is the other case? If the input letter is encountered for the first time and it is not in the dictionary. So what do? You write the index 0 and that letter following it, okay. So this way you have to write the output. Indexing starts from 1 and it goes on incrementing by 1 at each step, and this column is identical to this column, okay. So that's it about encoding, LZ78 encoding. So I hope you got all the things. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section, okay. So thank you for watching. Keep learning.